What's up, Michael Jordan collectors and investors? So I imagine you've heard by now that the PSA 10 on Golden Auctions underperformed. It sold for $615,000, and the BGS 9.5 or Quad 9.5 subs sold for $144,000. So I mean, you can't expect for this card to continue to sell for $600,000-$700,000 when most of the wealthy collectors already have their copy, or they have multiple copies by now. So I mean, you can't expect the market to continue to just climb and climb and climb. It's eventually gonna dip, it's gonna fluctuate. So this is normal, it's natural, it's actually a good thing. And like most of the Michael Jordan rookie cards have leveled off, or they're slowly declining, especially the PSA 8. If you look right now on eBay, there are 77 listings for a PSA 8. So you can't expect this card to maintain its high selling level. I mean, its high price that it reached on the spike. It reached nearly 30K, and then it averaged about 26,000. So 25 to 26. You can't expect it to stay like that if there's so many available. I mean, it's just not realistic. But it's not all bad. I mean, now some of the true collectors, they can go out and get a very good, nice looking Michael Jordan card in a PSA 8 for a reasonable price. I mean, these cards are going to start selling for under 20K. I mean, just expect that. That's going to happen, but it's a nice time to pick up one. I mean, there's a bright future for this card. There's a bright future. Guarantee it. Every year, thousands of new collectors come into the hobby, and a lot of those guys, they want a Michael Jordan rookie card, and they want a nice one, and they might look at the PSA 8. So eventually, the supply is going to dry up. Eventually, all these new collectors coming in every year, it's going to dry up. I mean, guarantee. Fleer is not producing any more of these cards. So, I mean, the future's bright. So if you're a collector, I would get one of these cards, and I would get it for the best price possible, and I would just hold on to it. If you're trying to flip this card and you bought it recently, it might be time to sell it before it dips any lower, because it's going to dip below 20K. I guarantee it. It may even go down to around 15K. I mean, it's just going to happen. There's just too many of them. But Card Gems here. Welcome to my channel. This is today, February 12th, Michael Jordan Rookie Card Market Report. All right, let's dig into this. So, cardladder.com, our favorite website. So the way I do this, I start from the lowest grade and I work my way up to the highest grade. So if you're not interested in the lower grades, then go ahead and stop and just skip ahead. So PSA 1, population 130. So the most recent price sold of this card is $4,050. The highest price is $4,050. So the last price was the highest price right here on the 11th. So this is the average selling price for 3 months, $2,381. And if you go to a month, you'll see that it's $3,660. And if you go to the 2-week mark, it's more like $3,762. So looking on eBay, we have a couple here. We have one for $1,560. This is a new listing. And we have this one right here for $5,499. It has 0 bids, 20 hours left. And here's one for $6,499. I'll buy it now. So looking at the PSA 2, it has a pop of 173. So this card last sold for $5,300. Very recent on the 6th. So the high price of this card is also $5,300. So the average selling price is $3,197 for 3 months. If we go to a month, it's more like $4,500. And if you go down to the 2-week mark, we're looking at $5,155. So if we look on eBay, We have one right here for 1,425. This is a new listing. Here's one for 2,100. There's one for 5,000, has 0 bids. And here's one for 6,495, our best offer. So that's the best offer you can get. And here's one for 10,000, best offer. So looking at the PSA 3s, it has a pop of 329. So last sold for 5,800, and that was right here on the 10th. So the high price of this card, selling price, is 6,250. The average price is 3,700 for the 3 months, and if we go down to a month, it's more like 5,500. And if you go to 2 weeks, it's more like 5,939. So if we look on eBay, we have one here for 2,125, has 16 bids. Here's one for 3,500, has 1 bid. Here's one slightly higher, has 0 bids, for 6,595. And here's the cheapest one you can get for a buy it now, a best offer, 8,500. So if we go to PSA 4, it has a pop of 667. So the last price was 6,500. That sold here on the 8th. If you can see, this card had a nice steady climb, and then it just shot up really high right here, and then it spiked for about 4 sales, and then it dropped back down to earth a little bit. So the average price of the 3 months is 38, but if we go to the 1 month, which most of these sales were, it was 7,436. If we go to the last 2 weeks, we're looking at the same price, basically 7,436. And if we go to eBay, we have one right here for 6,050, 27 bids. Here's one for 6,100, 25 bids. Here's one for 6,100, has 0 bids. So here's the cheapest buy it now for 7,649, and it just goes up from there. 7,700. There's 84. So looking at the PSA 5s, it has a pop of 1,016. So the last time it sold was 8,600 right here on the 10th. This card has had a really nice run up right here. This looks like a very healthy climb right here. So the high selling price is 8,600, the same price. That's the record price. So 4,800 for the 3 months. But most of the damage happened right here in the last month. So the average price is 6,733. And if we go down to the last 2 weeks, it's really boomed up to 7,800. So if we look on eBay, we have one right here for 5,932 bids. Here's one for 7,000, 0 bids. Here's one for 7,099, has 40 bids. And this is the cheapest one you can get for a best offer buy it now, is around 9,500. So if we check the PSA 6, has a pop of 1,664. Last sold for 7,200 right here on the 8th. And if we look at this card, it had a pretty nice climb. Then it shot up, just like most of these graphs. It shot way up around this time, up to this 11,811, which is the record price. And now it's starting to fall down to earth. So the average selling price for the 3 months is 5,700. And if we go to 1 month, it's up to 8,152. And in the past 2 weeks, with a little bit of decline, it's still at 9,369. So not bad. If we look on eBay, we got one for 4,500 here for 12 bids. Here's one for 6,000, 25 bids. Here's one for 6,100, 25 bids. Here's one for 7,000, 15 bids. There's one for 7,100 for 14 bids. Here's one for 8,100, has 22 bids. And this is the cheapest best offer buy now that you can get, is 11,500, and there's like several more that go even higher here. So the BGS 6, pop of 452. So this card doesn't sell very often. The last sell was 7,700. So the average sell is 7,475. There's no sense in going to 1 month or 2 weeks because it's the same. So the high price is 7,700. and there's none on eBay. So we'll go straight to the 6.5, which has a pop of 626. So it last sold for $7,729 right here on the 31st of January, and that was the high price. The average price is $5,034. There's not a lot of sales, so basically that average price is about the same. So we have one here for $5,100, 17 bids, and then we have just this other one here that's about $12,000. Buy it now. So we go to BGS 7. It has a pop of 964. So the last time it sold was $12,700, and that was on the 7th. So that is the high record price. The average sell is about $7,600 for the last 3 months. If we cut that down to 1 month, we're looking at $10,999. If we go even down to the 2 weeks, it's more like $12,033. And if we go on eBay, there's a few of these. So we got this one right here for $4,950, 17 bids. Here's one for $13,500. This is the cheapest you can get for a best offer. Buy it now. And then it just goes up higher from there. So PSA 7 has a pop of 3,371. So a lot of those. So this last sold for 13,312 right here on the 10th. So this is another card that has had a nice run up, nice healthy run up, and now the last 3 sales, basically the last 2 sales, it's starting to drop a little bit. But the average overall for the 3 months is 8,057 with the record high of 15,900. If we go down to 1 month, we're looking at an average of 11,826. And we cut it down to the last couple of weeks, we're looking at 14,298. So this card has really had a nice climb. So if we look on eBay, we have one for $6,355, 36 bids. Here's one for $7,000 with 5 bids. Here's one $8,100, 22 bids. Here's one for $9,600 with 33 bids. Here's one $10,000, has 1 bid. There's 20 hours left on that one. Here's one for $10,500 with 1 bid with 2 days. Here's one for $12,500, 1 bid, 4 days. Here's one for $13,088. This one has 26 bids. $14,000 is the cheapest you can get for a best offer. Buy it now. So if we go to the BGS 7.5, it has a pop of 1,448. So it last sold for $12,200, and that was right here on the 8th. As you can see, this has had a nice climb, and it also spiked. You see a lot of these cards spiking in this small window right here, which was this record high of 13,000 right here, this record high. So the average price is $7,544 for the 3 months. If you cut it down to 1 month, we're looking at $10,762. And in the last couple of weeks, it's more like $11,175. So if we go into eBay here, there's quite a few of these. Here's one for $7,100, 14 bids. Here's one for $9,000 with 0 bids, but you can buy it now for $12,000. But the cheapest you can buy it now is $11,000, and then it just gets a little crazy from there. So PSA 8. So this is the card. This is the most common grade, 7,741. There's like 77 listings of this on eBay right now. Look at all of these sales, just hundreds of sales right here, and it's had a nice climb. I mean, this card was undervalued for a long time, and it spiked just like the rest of them here in this spot right here. So this card last sold for $20,354. So it's down. It's down quite a bit from its huge spike right here of 26. So this is the record high, 26,000. This is the record confirmed high. I've seen multiple higher sales in this, but none of them have been confirmed. So if you take the average, so right here, this is a good thing to look at right here. This average for the 3 months, 12,449. So that's how much it has climbed. So if you go to the 1 month, it's at 18,396. So this price right here is what I think it will be for the next 3 months. But for the last 2 weeks, it's been a little crazy. So it's been up to like 22,500. But this is slowly declining. There's just too many of these guys. There's just too many. But I mean, it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy. When these cards drop, I would be buying one. I might buy one of these cards and just put it away. I mean, save it for the long term. You know, they will dry up. As more collectors coming to the hobby every year, this card will dry up. I guarantee it. So here's one with the off-center qualifier, 7,100, 35 bids. And this one is a new listing. So 10,051, 39 bids. Here's one for 10,085, 23 bids. Here's one for 11,100, 20 bids. And here's one for 12,000, 14 bids. Here's another one for 12,000, 30 bids. 12,000, 40 bids. 12,000, 18 bids. 13,000, 62 bids. 13,000, 15 bids. All day long, all day long. 13,000, 15 bids. 13,800, 19 bids. Guys, do not try to sell this card. If you have this card and you want to sell it and you don't have a high feedback, just send it to PWCC. They'll at least get you the best value, because if you try to sell this card on your own, you're not going to get full value. And right now, with how many of these cards that are for sale, you're definitely not going to get full value. But at least these guys can sell to international, so they will get you full value. You have the international buyers bidding on this card, so you'll have a true market value for that card. So here's another off-center qualifier for 14,800, 14,923, 21 bids. So let's see what the highest is. So we got almost 15,000 right here with 11 bids. Here's 15,500. 15,750 off-center qualifier, 0 bids. 16,000, 1 bid. 16,900, 29 bids. I mean, the card is still liquid, very liquid card. 17,000, 28 bids. It's just not going to get that, close to that 30K right now. 17,800, 16 bids. 19,000, 29 bids. 19,200, 61 bids. And look at this here. This 19,750 seed. Guys are already starting to list this card under 20K and trying to get, best offer. So he'll even take less. So that's telling you something right there. I mean, he's trying to compete with PWCC. So here's 19,999 buy it now. See, here's 20,000. He has 0 bids. That's what I'm saying. He has 118 feedback. It's hard to compete with the bigger accounts. 21,995. Even this guy here, he has a lot. He has 675 with 100 feedback, and he's still having trouble, selling this card. Here's 22,500 best offer, and it just goes and goes and goes. It just goes. So BGS 8, 2,040 pop. So for the last 3 months, it's averaged 9,789. It's had a nice climb, And it last sold for 14,083 right here on the 10th. It's down from the spike right here, 17,800. That is the record for this card. And if you go to a month, it's averaging about 14,000. And you go to the 2 weeks, it's 14,765. Well, this card was steadily climbing just, a little bit at a time, because it's so undervalued compared to PSA. But if we look on eBay, we have one for 7,670. This is a new listing, 12 bids. 8,100, 40 bids. 9,977, 28 bids. Here's 10,000, 49 bids. Here's 10,700, 42 bids. And here's 13,500, our best offer. So that's the cheapest that you can. Well, actually, this is a 7 right here. So disregard that. I'm sorry about that. But here's a PSA 8, a BGS 8, 14,232, 0 bids. So here's a BGS 8 for 15,000, 0 bids. So here's the cheapest one you can get for buy now or best offer, 17,000. So SGC 8. So SGC 8 for the last 3 months, it's averaged about 9,732. So there was a lot of catching up with SGC. So you have this crazy swing right here. It last sold for 14,088. So there was a huge correction with all of the SGC cards. There's not a lot of them either. So the high price of this card is 19,000. That was the spike right here, just like all of these cards spiked. So if you go to the last month, it's more like 16,544, and there's no sense in doing the 2 week. So I want to do this in the A5 together. So the A5 is here. For the last 3 months, it's also, this is a, it doesn't sell very often, these SGCs. But we had a little bit of a price correction. Last sold for $17,500 on the 11th. So the average selling price is $11,455. The high is $17,500. So if we go to a month, so the month is $14,027. So the pop on these two cards, the 8 and the 8.5. So the 8, there's 384. In the 8.5 there's 357, and the 9 I'm about to show you is 216 pop. The 9.5 is 25 and the 10 is 25. So you won't see these very often, and they sell for quite a bit. So looking at the 8s and the 8.5s, so there's an 8 here for 6,000 with 50 bids. Here's an 8.5, it's up to 10,300 with 12 bids. So here's a 9, it's up to 11,200. Here's an 8.5, it's up to 13,100 with 36 bids. And here's an 8, 14,923. It's a little high, so this has 0 bids. Here's another 8, it's pretty high, 16,500, 0 bids. So here's another 8, 21,500. Here's an 8.5 for 23,500, our best offer. And it just kind of goes high from there. So the BGS 8.5. There's a lot of these. There's 2,536, and there's a lot of these listed on eBay as well. If you look at the last 3 months here, it averaged about 11,673, and it's had a nice healthy climb here, and it ended up spiking right here for 23,100, which is the record price right here. But it last sold for 17,400, so it's kind of fallen off a little bit from it was doing a steady climb, and this was the first one that's kind of fallen off. And if we look at the last month, it's averaged 17,610. And if we go to the 2 weeks, it's more like 19,680. If we look on eBay, there's a whole bunch of these. But here's one for 2,015 bids. This is a new listing. Here's one for 10,200 with 20 bids. There's one for 10,200, 13 bids. 10,628 bids. 10,942 bids. Here's one for 11,200 with 19 bids. Here's one for 15,000, 0 bids. Here's one for 21,000, 0 bids, and 21,999, 0 bids, but he's taking offers. So this is the cheapest one you can get offers, but let's see. Let's try to find one with right here. So this is the cheapest, like straight up buy it now. Our best offer is 22,500. It has 29 subs on it. So if we go to the PSA 8.5, this has a very, very low pop of 381. Doesn't sell very often. For the last 3 months, there's been a huge price correction on this card. It shot all the way up here to 43,400. So it last sold for 35,000 on the 11th. So it's average about 20,489. But this price, this is really deceiving, because there was a huge correction on this card, because it just doesn't sell much. If you look at the last month, 34,184. That's a pretty good price. If you look at the last 2 weeks, though, it's more like 38,633. This is a good price right here. And this card is not going to really drop off like the 8 will, because this is more of like a high-end 8, and it's has a very low pop. So and the 9 is still very strong. So this card's gonna kind of hold its value, I think. Well, let's look on eBay. So here's one for 15,100, 31 bids. Here's one at 19,100 with 13 bids. And then you have one that's starting price 30,000, so has no bids. And here's the cheapest one you can get for a best offer, buy it now, 42,000. So let's go to SGC 9. So remember, this has a pop of 216. So the last 3 months, there's only been 4 sales. The last one being 57,600, and that is the high record price, the spike. So the average price is 30,000, but like I said, there's been like a huge price correction between this date and this date here. If you look at the last month, it's 34,400. But you go to the last 2 weeks, it's more like 42,866. And this card has surpassed the BGS 9 as far as the record price. So that's very interesting. So if we look on eBay, we have one here for 11,200 with 31 bids. And then you have one for, this is the cheapest you can get for a buy now, best offers, you know, around 70,000. And there's a few more that's even higher here. So if we go to the PSA 9, it has a pop of 2,766. So the last 3 months, it's had a nice steady growth right here. And it's had this big spike right here for 88,999. And then it dropped off for this last sell right here, 75,100. So the average selling price is 41,700 for the 3 months. We go to 1 month, it's more like, you know, 58,000. And the last couple of weeks, it's been really crazy. So 75,430. And if we look on eBay, we have one here with an optional qualifier for 4,149, 20-some bids. One of these just sold for 18,000 on auction. So it's a nice card to get. PSA 9 here for 10,195, 12 bids. Here's one for 10,936 bids. Here's the optional qualifier. See, that's what I'm saying, 12,000, 18 bids. Another optional qualifier, 12,737 bids. So these cards are getting kind of popular. PSA 9 here for 21,159 bids, 22,115 bids, 22,500. Buy now best offer. So this is the cheapest you can get it for the optional qualifiers. So here's one for 28,956 with 53 bids. Here's 38,988, 63 bids. Here's 39,588 with 67 bids. Here's 45,100 with 49 bids. And here's a buy it now for about 50,000. This is off centered. Here's 59,995 with 0 bids. Here's 60,475 bids. This has 28 minutes left. So here's a PSA 9, 76,450 straight up buy it now. And this is a good seller right here. I know this seller. So, this is a true PSA 9. So guy's trying to get it right here. He's trying to compete with these other guys for, good price here. And here's one for 79,999. Buy now, best offer. And from here, it just gets really wild. I mean, I think it goes all the way up to like 200,000 up here. A lot of them for like 100,000, like 200,000. So, it's a good card to own. There's a BGS 9 popped 16,041. So last 3 months, you can see it's had this steady climb and it kind of spiked right here, 47,500. Then it dropped back down to what it had been, and then it spiked again for 56,000 on the 7th, and then it really dropped off here for 37,675 on the 10th. So yeah, that's the last sell, and then the record is 56,000. See, it's less than that SGC. So the average selling price is 25,667 for 3 months. If we go to the month, 35,490. That's more of a real average right there. If you go last 2 weeks, 42,637. I still think this card is undervalued compared to that PSA 9. So if we look on eBay here, we have one for 14,066 bids. Here's one for 14,123 bids, 15,128 bids, 15,351 bids, 15,655 at 15 bids, 17,633 bids, 27,877, 15 bids, 22 hours left. Here's one for 34,999. Buy it now. So this is the cheapest you can get it for the buy it now. So this is well below that record price. Here's one for 47,000. Buy now, best offer. So this, it has some really good subs. There's a 9.5 sub on this. So this is probably the cheapest, really, really nice one that you can get. Here's another one for 47,500. You might want to look at these subs. It has a 9.5 on the edges. So if we look at the SGC 9.5, we can see here for the last 3 months, there's only been like 4 sales. The last one being for 125,000. So huge market correction on this card right here. Because the average had been 55,000 for the 3 months. So that is the record high. So if we go down to, let's just go to the 2 weeks. Well, we only have that one sale. So if we go to a month, still that one sale. So like I said, this doesn't sell very often. It only has a pop of 25, and there's not even one on eBay right now. But if we go to the BGS 9.5, it has a pop of 526. And we all know that this card is pretty much split in half between the low end BGS 9.5s and the high end. So, the average price is just kind of, it's kind of deceiving. So the last time this sold was just for the 162,000 right here, and this was a high end. The last true low end was 76,626. And the one on Golden sold last night for 144,000, and that was just a quad 9.5s all the way across. So that's a bit down from that high, unfortunately. Now here's a BGS 9.5. That's a low end, has a 9 on the edges. So it's at 75,600. So still going strong. 73 bids, has 6 days left. So we'll see how that one does. Offer buy it now. So we have this one here, has a 9 center for 250,000, our best offer. Here's 9 on the surface, 250,000 best offer. 300,000 buy it now, has a 9 on the surface. There's 325,000, our best offer, 9 on the surface. This one has a 9 on the surface, comes with the sticker, is sold for around 70K for the record for that. 400,000 he wants, our best offer. Here's a pair. This has a 9 on the edges, a 9 on the corners for 543,000, our best offer. And if we go here, we have a quad 9.5 with a 10 center. Very, very nice card. 350,000, our best offer in this one. So if we go to the PSA 10, it has a pop of 316. Does not sell very often. Usually sells on the major auction houses. The last 3 months, this card has had a huge run up, with the spike here of 720,000, and the last sale here was for 645,000 on the 3rd. So the average selling price is 332,000 for the 3 months. If we go to the last month, 571,000, and the last couple of weeks we're looking at 682,000, and we just had one sell for 615,000 on Golden Auctions, and we still have one at Heritage. That's kind of up there right now, around 400,000. So if we look on eBay, we have this one right here for 800,000, our best offer, and we have one for $1 million for best offer. So we all hope that it reaches 1 million so it can pull all of the rest of our cards up, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. So if we go to Golden Auction, these are the results right here. This PSA 10 sold for 615,000. Yes, I know it's down. But this sticker right here sold for all-time high, a record price of 234,930. So the stickers are doing really well. The stickers have very low pops across the board. They're rare cards. This BGS 9 here sold for 147,600. So I think I said 144,000, yeah, but it's actually 147,600. I apologize. Still, I was expecting more from this card, but it looks like the Jordan market is just kind of cooling a little bit right now. If we go down here to the 9 had a really, really good turnout. So it was 81,180. That's down a little bit down from the spike, but this is still a really good sell right here. So if we look at this BGS 9 sticker, this is a record price, 29,520. This BGS 9 here sold for 47,970. So that is not very. That's not bad at all either. It's down from the record, but there's ones that are listed for buy it now less than this on eBay. So this was a really good sell. 68,000 here on this 9. So this 9 had a little bit less eye appeal on it. So now if we go to the Heritage still has their PSA 10 right here. So 390,000 if you add the buyer's premium, you know, it's up in the 400,000s, and this 9 here is up to 40,000, and this SGC 9.5, it'll be really interesting to see what this right here does. See if it matches that, you know, the 125,000 that it had sold for previously. We still have this 8 here, and this BGS 8 and this PSA 7. These are all like really low prices because the bidding has not really begun yet, because these still have like 16 days on them. So let's look at the recently ended on eBay. So here, I want y'all to see this right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is a PSA 8, and this is a guy, you know, he has really good feedback. 899, you know, that's more than me. That's more than I have on eBay, 100%. And he struggled to get it up above 20,000, because, you know, it's just hard to compete with PWCC and Probstein. Trying to sell this card on your own, and look, it sold for 18,600, 41 bids. So, you know, congratulations to whoever bought this card. They got it for a really good price. So here's a SGC 8. It sold for 14,088 with 9. PSA 8 sold for 22,999. Buy it now. So, you know, if the card has really good eye appeal, you're still gonna get lucky and get someone to buy your card at around those prices. But here's another PSA 8 for 18,908, 30 bids. So this, like I'm saying, this is going to become the new average here real soon. Here's a PSA 3 that sold for 5,512 bids. Here's a SGC 8.5 that sold for 17,500 with 29 bids. Here's a BGS 8.5 that sold for 17,435 bids. So look at this. The SGC and the BGS, they are like side by side now. But look at the PSA 8.5 just soaring. It's like double those other two guys. So 36 bids on this one. So here we have a SGC 7.5, 11,100 with 21 bids. Here is a BGS 9, sold for 37,675 at 35 bids. See, that's what I'm saying, you know. There's a BGS 7.5, sold for 10,300 with 37 bids. So look, see, the 7.5 of the SGC actually outsold the BGS. So the SGC, it looks like, you know, the SGC might be overtaking BGS a little bit here. 38,574 though for this BGS 9, 36 bids. So PSA 6, it had a list for 9,999, and it sold for 8,800. So moving on, we have this PSA 4 that sold for 7,000. Buy it now. Here's a PSA 3, sold for 5,655 with 24 bids. This card was relisted, so we won't talk about that. Here's a PSA 6 for 7,800, 9 bids. There's a PSA 7, sold for 13,050, 41 bids. Even this 7 here, PSA 7 outsold that BGS 7.5. It's just sad. There's a BGS 6 listed for 7,500, and this one sold for 7,050. So a little bit of negotiating here, saving $500. So not bad. It always helps to negotiate a little bit. Here's a BGS 4 sold for 5,424 with 14 bids. And here's a PSA 6 that sold for 10,355 with 26 bids. So let's go to our summary page. So PSA 10 is still the record price is $720,000. So we have one up on auction now for 468. This is the one on Heritage. I calculated the buyer's premium into that card. So the BGS 9.5 high-end record price is $162,500. BGS low-end $76,600. There's one up on auction now for $75,600. So I'm not going to go into all of these. You can pause this and look at this if you want. All of the green columns are the record confirmed prices, and all of the blue columns are the ones that are currently on auction right now. This is the highest card on auction. So if we go to the next page, it gets us to our BGS 8.5s to the BGS 7s. So I'll highlight here the BGS 8.5 is the record price is $23,100. We have one up on auction now for $11,200. So if we come over here, we can see that the PSA 8, you know, the record price is $26,000, but we have one up on auction now for $19,200, which is already, you know, it's getting close to the average. I think the average is going to be around this price for the next, couple of months, unless something really, really crazy happens in the market. So I don't know. So if we go over here, we got the BGS 7, 12,700 record price, and we have one up on auction here for 4,950. So this one right here, this SGC8 is one to look at. So because the record price is 19,000, that's kind of a spike, and this was at 6,000. So I don't know. We'll have to see about that one. So if we look at the BGS, this is the BGS 6.5s all the way down to the PSA 1. So these are all of the ones that Card Ladder has. If you don't see a grade here, it's because no one has requested to add that card to Card Ladder. You have to get a membership with them guys and then request for them to add the card, and then they'll add it. So, but the BGS 6.5, it lasts, the record price 7,729. We have one up on auction for 5,100. So this PSA 6 here, this is a huge spike. So I don't know if this card is really going to reach this again until we see like another huge run up on the entire market. So there's one up on auction now for 8,100. PSA 5 here for the record price is 8,600, and there's one up on auction for 7,099. So these low ends as a whole have all picked up. We just had a PSA 1 that sold for a record of 4,050, and there's one up on auction now for 1,560. So even the rock bottom card that you can get that's still authentic and still has a number grade is 4,000. So, the Jordan market is still really healthy. It's going to have its ups, it's going to have its downs. It's just part of, it's just part of the hobby. As more collectors come in, more collectors buy Michael Jordan rookie cards, and it's going to dry up. Fleer's not printing any more of these. They're going to dry up. Don't panic. If you're a collector, just hold on to that card. Be happy. Hold on to it. Maybe upgrade. It's a good chance to upgrade. But that's my report for today. All right, Michael Jordan collectors and investors. So that was my market report for today. You guys are the greatest. Sometimes y'all send more comments than I do get views on a video. And I try really hard to answer each and every one of your guys' questions. I've made a lot of changes to my update, and I would really like your feedback on those changes. If you like them, if you don't like them, or if you want me to add something else or take something away. I really appreciate your guys' feedback. So if you're still getting something out of this video and you still like it, please give it a like below. That helps me out. And for you guys that haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Michael Jordan rookie card market report.